This is Corey from World Music Nashville, and you are listening to the business side of music.
Success in the music business begins with a dream, a vision. This podcast will give you, the listener, the insight and tools to turn that vision into a reality. Meet the industry professionals who work day by day behind the scenes, helping to make those dreams come true. Welcome to the business side of music.
This is Bob Bender, and you're listening to this edition of The Business Side of Music with co-host and co-producer Vinny Rebus. Vinny, welcome back for another one.
How are you, Bob?
Doing good. Boy, it's been an exciting week here. We've been getting some great guests on these podcasts here in Nashville. We've been doing a series of podcasts in World Music Nashville. I want to tell you about that. It's a music store here on 7069 Highway South in Nashville, and they've been great people to work with. They've got a nice little intimate theater inside the music store. It seats about 70, 80 people. If you're ever looking for a venue to showcase material, if you're a songwriter or an artist, this is a good place to do it. So thanks to World Music Nashville for letting us use their facility. This episode is probably if you're a up-and-coming artist or you're an established artist and you're trying to figure out how to get your music out there and find new friends and fans, this is the guy to listen to, definitely. Mike Stewart is the president and founder of Sound Pages, Inc. It's a complete multimedia production facility. Mike has composed countless radio jingles, television scores, and produced or performed on music literally heard all over the world. He's worked with such artists including Tommy Rowe, Joe South, the Shirelles. You really don't look that old. Isaac Hayes, one of my favorites, Bertie Higgins, and Bill Anderson. In 1996, Mike became passionate about the future of the internet and how small businesses could benefit from the web if they just understood how to make it work for their company. He saw how the broadcast of audio and video information on a website was really no different than the television radio industry he had been a part of all of his life. Through techniques he learned from the seminar speakers and promoters, he was able to create his own software products that made the process easier. Since that time, he's become a successful consulting with small business owners on how to set up their worldwide TV stations and broadcast their unique marketing messages to the world. Mike teaches attendees the benefits of owning the right equipment and utilizing it to record themselves to make quality multimedia audio and video information products that can be marketed for high profits. We all like that. He's always on the lookout for new innovative ideas, products, hardware, and software to benefit his clients. Sound Pages focuses on internet technologies that allow audio and video to be streamed over the internet. He's developed distance training websites, e-commerce projects, and audio video intensive web projects utilizing Flash programming. I don't know what any of that means, but he's going to explain it.
And Flash is out of date. It's now HTML5 for those that care.
There we go. He didn't stop there, but was constantly striving to be on the cutting edge of technology, always searching for better, more efficient ways of achieving his goals. Let's give a big hand to Mike Stewart, folks.
Thanks. Great to be here. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you. So, welcome to the show. Let's talk a little bit about who is Mike Stewart? What are you all about?
Well, I'm one of those generations that on February 9th, 1964, those lads from Liverpool were on the Ed Sullivan Show, and I was sitting there with my mom and dad watching that TV show, and I said, now that's something I want to do. I want to write songs, I want to sing songs, I want to be a part of music, and that inspired so many people of my generation to just get really involved with music. So, I tried to be the best player I could be. I tried to write great songs, and I tried to do all the things in the music business that we're all accustomed to doing. Learn your instrument, learn your craft. And there was a turning point in my life 40 years ago that instead of moving to Nashville, my drummer in my band said, "Man, I think Atlanta is going to be where to go." And so, Atlanta, yeah. He said, "I think that's going to be the next rock and roll Southern rock music center." And to a certain degree, he was correct. I moved there in 1976, and I got involved with anybody and everybody that was in a lot of the people that you named off were all people in the Atlanta music scene. Bill Lowry was a Mr. Atlanta Music and all of his artists. And a lot of my friends over the years to continue in the music industry left Atlanta and came to Nashville. So anyway, I remember music like it used to be. I know what a 45 is. You know, my kids don't even know what a 45 is.
I know what a 45 is.
I know
Do
what
you,
a
Bob?
78 is. My dad had some of those.
I know what a 78 is, but let me interrupt for 1 second. My wife and I have a stereo in our house with a nice turntable, and our 25-year-old son had to come in and ask us how to work it.
Doesn't that make you feel good?
Yeah.
Well, you know, the reality is that's the world it came from. But 20 years ago, I realized, you know, that the music business can be tough at times. And in Atlanta, you know, I was in a band. We were a one-hit wonder. We had a record called Pac-Man Fever in 1982, and we found out what it's like to have a number one record, and then we couldn't have another hit. So we're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame under one-hit wonders. Wasn't our choice. It's just the way it worked out.
Right.
And one hit does not make a living the rest of your life. And so I owned a recording studio for about 20 years in Atlanta doing corporate communications. I worked from everyone from Ted Turner to Coca-Cola. Anything in Atlanta, I was involved with music. And I always figured out a way to market my music. You know, my model of when my recording studio was, I wanted to be a piano session player. So by owning a studio, when you booked my studio, you didn't get a choice on the piano player. You always got me. So it was my marketing tools that if I booked the studio, I got to be the session player. And I did that for years and years and years. And it was a great business, but it was a trading hours for dollar business. And there's nothing in the world wrong with that. But there's only so many hours in the week, and you can only grow so much. So I got interested in the fact that with the internet, how could I sell my creativity to the world? And I want to learn this. And when I realized in 1996 that the internet is nothing more than radio and television, that was an aha to me. And I'll tell you the night it was an aha moment for me. Bill Gates was on the David Letterman show. I'm a big fan of late night television, and this was in 96. And so I figured, here's Bill Gates, Mr. Microsoft, come out on the Letterman show, and he says, Dave says, so what's the deal with this internet thing? And I figured he'd say, it's a super information highway, and it's a computerized technology. And I figured all these geeky things he would say. What he said was, he says, you know, Dave, you'll be able to listen to the radio on your computer. And I thought, what an answer in 1996. And of course, Dave, being a smart aleck, says, well, why don't you just listen to the radio on your radio? He didn't get it.
Right.
He didn't get it. What that told me that day is, oh my gosh, the internet is a pipeline. It is just a transmitter. Now, the content that you put in that pipeline is what we do. You're creating good content here, and you're creating radio, and it's going to be transmitted through the internet. So I realized if the internet is broadcast, and I understand radio and television, the internet, I believe someday will be the new internet, the new radio and television. Well, it's here today. It's already here today. And that's why there are strategies, principles that do not change, that I don't see most music people, from established artists to young artists. The younger artists are very computer savvy. They're very phone savvy. They're very app savvy. But there's marketing principles and strategies that people leave out, either because they don't know or they were advised it's not a good idea. Don't care the reason. But when you implement those strategies in the technologies of the new radio and television of today, which is the cell phone, you know, that's not a phone that I'm holding. I'm holding my iPhone in my hand. That is a more powerful computer than got us on the moon.
Right.
So the deal is, this is radio, this is television, this is a computer, it's a telephone, it's everything. And especially the younger generation, and even my generation, we live with these things in our pockets 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So learning how to leverage these tools and learning marketing principles that take strangers and turn them into super fans, the opportunities to monetize are better than they've ever been until people learn those principles. And that's why I sold my home in Georgia of 40 years and moved here to Nashville to hopefully educate and implement and help people. I'm not here to make that's why I'm friends with Vinny. I mean, he loved what I had to say, and
well, somebody's got to be friends with Vinny.
Well,
I got one finally.
Well, he hasn't blown it yet.
Yeah.
So at any rate, that's a little bit about me. I know the old way, but I am free to live anywhere in the world, and I chose to come to Nashville to help songwriters, musicians, and publishers.
This is Corey from World Music Nashville, and you are listening to the business side of music.
You're listening to the business side of music.
Hi, this is Bob Bender, president of Bob Bender Productions. Since 1987, our company has provided consultation and artist direction services for recording industry artists. If you're looking to take your music career to the next level, or simply need advice on jump-starting a project or marketing one that's been completed, then we're here to assist you with over 40 years of experience in the entertainment business. We offer individual or group sessions, in person, or over the phone or Skype consultations. Feel free to call our office at 661-326-1140 or email us at info@bobbenderproductions.com for more details.
You're listening to the business side of music.
You're back with Bob Bender and Vinny Rebus, this edition of the business side of music. We're real excited to have Mike Stewart on the show today. You're talking about the internet and our phones and our tablets and our laptops. That's the new media source for us to look at when we want to see what's out there. Netflix is a prime example. Netflix basically put Blockbuster Video out of business. People are into binge watching now. They'll watch 13 episodes of House of Cards in a weekend. We're not listening to full albums of music per se. We're listening to bites. We're listening to one song, maybe two songs, because there's so much out there. Is that good?
Yeah, it's a different concept, and the technology has created the market is telling you exactly what they want. And so what happens is a marketer or somebody that wants to monetize a market follows what the market wants. And so, when you look at Netflix is a great example. Blockbuster should have owned and developed Netflix, but they didn't. Their monetization was in late fees. That was their big profit margin.
Which is what created Netflix. So what happens is, instead of continuing to have the brick and mortar locations, because I've paid hundreds of dollars in late fees for my kids renting videotapes that I didn't know they rented, and you probably did too. Netflix saw a problem and used the internet to solve that problem and created what the market loved. And what the market told them is people love content, and they love great content, and great content will always rise to the top. But that model of subscription websites is how the music industry can monetize and is not doing like they should. Netflix is a perfect example. Do you know what Netflix is called in my industry? What's that?
A membership site. They have 75 million people sending them $10 a month. They don't need advertisers because they're fans. They built a fan base of 75 million people sending them on demand $10 a month, and they create the content that makes it so compelling that the majority of the people who join never want to quit paying. And every creative person in the world can do the exact same thing if they know how. So now we were supposed to talk about YouTube. I can show you how YouTube ties into this whole scenario.
Well, and I think that's one of the platforms out there that is, I don't know if maybe misutilized or underutilized, but it's not really being used in the best way possible by most people, YouTube.
Absolutely not. Now, what I see, and since I've been in Nashville, and of course what I've heard over the years, that YouTube is not, there's not enough revenue in YouTube for my songs to play on YouTube. Well, I'm going to say something bold here, and I don't mean to offend or not make friends with this comment.
Well, you still have Vinny.
Well, hopefully
We'll see.
We'll see. YouTube is not about the money they pay, even though they have two ways of making. They pay royalties through ASCAP and BMI. They pay stream royalties, which are very, very low and nobody likes. I get that. And they also pay what's called the revenue share, which is called AdSense. And anybody can participate in that. So if you get millions and millions of views, there are people who make $1 million a year just over advertising revenue share. People like PewDiePie, you probably never heard of them, but there's all kinds of YouTube stars that make a fortune from just revenue share. But the real money is in what's called traffic, meaning the people who subscribe to your channel and the links that you send people back to things that make you money. And that's the missed opportunity. To me, YouTube is a radio and an MTV that allows me to get my content up there for me to build my fan base. And I build the fan base back at my own website. And so there's missed opportunities that artists, musicians, or even, I don't care whether you're a dentist or a chiropractor, these opportunities exist for everyone, and it's free for everybody to do on YouTube. So YouTube to me is a fan building tool, not trying to eat. Whatever revenue I get out of them is a pittance against the value of finding a raving fan.
And it is one of the social network platforms. We all talk about Facebook or we talk about Twitter, but YouTube is the true sounding board to find new fans, to get your music out there, to get that kind of feedback. And I think a lot of artists don't take advantage of that. I know that my son will tell me, "Hey, Pops, you need to check this certain artist out." Well, where do I find him? You find him on YouTube, of course. Mm-hmm. And then you'll see there's 3 or 4 or 5 videos deep. And, you know, very quickly you either fall in love or you don't, but at least you've had that opportunity. And you know, you look at the number of views that they've had, and it's an education process.
Absolutely. But think of YouTube as radio and MTV.
Combined. Yeah.
And the deal is when I was making my records in the 80s, good luck getting on MTV.
Well, and we don't have MTV anymore.
Well, it's gone.
It's gone
because it's not a music television network anymore.
No.
And it was really tough to get my record on the radio. Everybody can get on YouTube. So you go, well, okay, that's a lot of clutter. But the people who learn the marketing strategies that YouTube affords you, you can rise to the top if your content's good. If your content's good, you can build a fan base, and when you build a fan base, you can monetize it.
So that's the first thing right there is making sure that your content is good.
Very rarely will the market will tell you if they like you or not.
If you have 15 views,
then nobody's watching and nobody cares.
But good doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have broadcast quality, something that would be seen on TV.
Absolutely not. And the reality is there's so many strategies and tools that will let you get more eyeballs and ears to your content. So number one, these are facts. The world will never stop loving music and songs. Okay? People like singles. When the industry got rid of singles, I think that was detrimental. iTunes and Apple promised the music industry that we'll protect your copyright. And I'm here to say, and I'm not scared to say it, they didn't protect anything. Any kid in the world knows how to steal every song off another kid's iPod. So all Steve Jobs wanted, but God rest his soul, all he cared about was selling these devices, and he needed the music industry software of songs because he didn't own that. So under the disguise of protecting copyright, he was able to build one of the world's biggest companies because selling hardware. But the reality is, he built raving fans. That model is how you make money on the internet. People who love Apple devices will tell you how horrible your PC is. I hear it all the time. So the point that I'm trying to get across is that model of building fans. Netflix built fans. Spotify built fans. Facebook built fans. And when you build a massive fan base who are super fans who love what you do, there are over 100 ways to monetize it. And that's what the music industry, I'm here to share with what the opportunities are.
So let's talk about that for a second. Why YouTube over any of the other platforms?
Well, number one, Spotify is an app that is just streaming music. So you should be on Spotify. But here's the beautiful thing about YouTube. YouTube is the number 3 website in the world. It's owned by Google. So what happens is YouTube's results get indexed in Google. So there are strategies to help you find new fans. And then there's things that most musicians just put up a song. They just put up a music video. Well, those are marketing opportunities that they've left out. They should be working on a great example. If you want to see somebody who brilliantly used YouTube, look at Pentatonics.
Absolutely. Or the 5 Piano Guys.
And the Piano Guys.
The Piano Guys, yeah.
Okay, both of them. And I know the guy who did the marketing for the Piano Guys. So I know a little bit more insight about that, and we can talk about that as well. But the deal is, go back to their earliest videos and watch. At the end of every video, they said, share us with your friends. Subscribe to our channel. Go to our website. join our email list, buy our autographed CD. I mean, they're constantly marketing after they've played you a great piece of music. 99 out of 100 videos on YouTube, the song plays and ends, and it was over. It was just an MTV video. That's your marketing.
And there's no intimate connection between you and that artist, which I think the Piano Guys did perfectly.
Absolutely. They spent a percentage, not the whole video, recruiting, asking for sharing. Share us on Facebook. Share us with your friends.
Maybe 30 seconds total.
15. Most people do nothing. So my point I'm getting across, there are marketing opportunities with YouTube that most people in all businesses, not just music, completely miss. And I've got 5 things that I talk about that you could go back if you're a musician and you have a YouTube channel right now. I was just looking at one of the artists that they were talking about earlier with one of your guests here, and I looked at the YouTube channel of the artist, and they're sending people back to Spotify. Well, Spotify thanks you. Let Spotify get their own fans.
Yeah.
Send them back to my website. When I'm in control.
Not your
of my
website.
No, I meant the.
Or do you want them to go to?
Well, yeah, they can go to my website. No, I'm trying to say that in internet marketing, traffic and conversion equals profit. When there's no traffic, there's no profit. When there's no conversion, there's no profit. Okay. Somebody says, well, what is traffic and conversion? Traffic is people who don't know you who find you. Conversion is doing something that makes you money.
Right.
And when you have conversion in place and you have traffic in place, it's a numbers game. So at the end of the day, I see most websites are like, here I am, thanks, and nothing. And so with YouTube, there are all kinds of opportunities to YouTube is one of the biggest sources of free traffic to the things that make you money on the internet besides Google.
You're listening to the business side of music.
Hi, this is Vinny Rebus, the founder of Indie Connect. Our goal is to ensure that you have the knowledge, the tools, skills, resources, and connections that you need to develop a profitable and long-lasting career in music. One way we do this is through these Business Side of Music podcasts. I'd also like to invite you to check out Indie Connect magazine, our free multimedia online publication packed with practical interviews and advice from music industry experts. Go to www.indieconnectmag. That's www.indieconnectmag.com. Let us walk with you and guide you every step of your musical journey.
You're listening to the business side of music.
This is Bob Bender with Vinny Rebus, and you're listening to the Business Side of Music. Mike Stewart here today. This is a wealth of information. I hope people listening are making notes. So you talked briefly, you mentioned the 5 things. I'm assuming these are maybe the 5 basic things that people need to do when they want to develop something, or let's say I'm Joe Schmo, who's just written I think is a really cool song and has created a video that's fairly good production value to it, and I want to put it on YouTube. Obviously we've all agreed that's not enough. There's other things I have to do.
Well, number one, there's no limit to the amount of videos. YouTube is not concerned about that you only do one video. You should do videos bare minimum 3 times a week. And they don't all have to be music. But here are the 5 things I recommend for every YouTube channel. Number one, your header graphic at the top of your YouTube channel is a marketing opportunity. Your latest show, your tour, your website address, your Christmas album, whatever. In fact, go look at the Piano Guys on YouTube. You talk about brilliant YouTube marketing, they're killing it. So, number one, I've looked at musicians and their header graphic was blank, or it's a picture of a car. Makes no sense, or they thought it looked cool. Or even it could be a picture of a guitar. They think that looks cool, doesn't make money. Letting people know what you have that they can buy from you is how you make money. So YouTube marketing header graphic. Number 2, every YouTube channel can associate a website. There's a handful of little steps you have to go through, but you can tell YouTube that I legally own this website over here. Let's just say mikeandvinny.com. We're a band. we can make our Mike and Vinny YouTube channel be associated with our mikeandvinny.com band website. That opens up annotation marketing and YouTube iCard marketing. The piano guys do that. That means I can link right in the middle of videos. People can click on their phone and hop from that video over to my website to where I'm selling tickets to my shows, where I'm selling merchandise, where I'm selling my subscription. So an associated channel. Most of the musician websites, YouTube channels I look at have never implemented that feature. It's absolutely free, so it's a big mistake to leave it out. Great titles and long descriptions with tracking links to money-making offers at your website, and most of the people from their titles only link to iTunes and Spotify. And iTunes and Spotify, thank you. You're sending your fans to them. Now, you have to. There are 800-pound gorillas in this business.
Right.
So you have to do that. But YouTube doesn't say you can't put a tracking link. And the reason I call it a tracking link, so you can measure how many clicks am I getting from this video. So every video needs great long titles, cover songs titles. That's how Pentatonics got all their traffic. They would do hit cover songs, which are legal to do on YouTube. And that got them traffic. People looking for such and such a song found the Pentatonics version. Then they were blown away with the content. They courted them to become a fan and a subscriber.
And real simple videos, too.
Simple videos. Pentatonics' first video was shot with their iPhone, even in the wrong position. You know, everybody shoots videos like this. You really should shoot them like this. This is portrait.
Landscape.
Landscape versus portrait.
Right.
Their first video, they did it with their evidently with their iPhone, held the wrong way. And it's had millions of views. And they didn't take it down because it's still working.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm getting around. All kinds of videos, not just music videos. Karaoke, sing-along videos, the lyric videos, history of the song, rehearsal sessions, backstage interviews, where you like to eat. I mean, the videos can be anything because your fans want more than just the music. They want.
It's exactly the point. You know, we used to talk about photo shoots for artists that don't take just 2 or 3 photos, because those photos are going to be out there for a long time. Shoot, you know, of course back then a whole roll of film, but
What's that?
we don't have that much time. You know, shoot a lot of different angles and wardrobes and settings, because that helps to the intimacy of the fan getting to know the artist. You get to see him from different dimensions, and I think that's so important. It's the same thing when you're talking about when you talk about and say, hey, you know, I'm the Mike and Vinny show, and we're eating at such and such, and the food's great here. You know, that's just a part of the fan getting to know you more. I think that's so important. We've got some friends out in California that do a podcast. They talk about conspiracy theories and whiskey. And it's a well-known podcast, and they've picked up a hot sauce supplier as one of their sponsors. That hot sauce supplier is starting to now see people from all over the world wanting their hot sauce from listening to this podcast. But it's that amount of, hey guys, we're here in the studio, and you know, we're drinking whiskey and talking about conspiracy theories, and oh yeah, and we're dumping a little bit of hot sauce on something. Yeah. And it's that branding, it's that marketing.
Absolutely. I mean, there are so many ways to monetize, even other than sponsorships. Affiliate offers, meaning that you say there's a link here on our website, or there's a link right here on YouTube. Click this link, and you can get whatever product or T-shirt. Or the possibilities are unlimited. And number 5 that I wanted to say that don't leave out, you need to promote in your videos 2 things. You should go to our website and see what we have to offer. And number 2, if you're not ready to buy something, share us with your friends and become a subscriber. I mean, it's just...
It doesn't cost anything to subscribe.
It doesn't cost anything. Hand me that cup. Okay, I didn't want the cup, but you see, because I asked you to do it, you didn't question. And it's the same psychology in a video. Subscribe to our channel. See, I mean, I did that as an example. When people ask for things, 9 times out of 10, people will do it, especially if it's a legitimate question. So people never ask for subscribers. They never ask go to my website. They never say and make offers that can't be duplicated. And you can't duplicate interactivity. That's why Seth Godin, who's one of my mentors, I don't know if you ever heard of Seth Godin.
Yeah.
He wrote an article, and it's on my website. I got a link to it. He said, whenever possible, build subscriptions for the music business. And that's what Netflix is. That's what iTunes is. They're all subscription websites. Make it once and sell it to many. The opportunity that if you build this traffic and this fan base, and then you learn how to build subscription websites that can contain live concert streams, virtual meet and greets, discounts on shows, virtual merch, the list goes on of things, you can monetize this traffic when you build an audience of superfans. And that's what YouTube is for. YouTube is not, yes, you can make some revenue from it, from the advertising, and you can make some revenue from the performance royalties, but the real value is finding a new fan who goes, my gosh, I love this Mike and Vinny band, and look at what they have at your website, and yes, I'm willing to become a subscriber because I love what they're doing so much. And the last piece of the equation, that's number 6, it's not here, a little bonus thing, and something I'm working on, and it works very well for me, is when you can compensate your friends with sharing your good stuff with their friends, that's called affiliate marketing. And that I don't see that anywhere except in Amazon. The only way I could make money selling a Justin Timberlake CD is through the Amazon Associates program. And most people don't think about that. We've got to promote fans sharing with their friends your music for profit. And affiliate marketing is wide open. And my mission here in Nashville is to educate how powerful affiliate marketing can be for the music world.
So how does someone find you? How do they go about using what you have to offer?
Well, I invite everybody to go. My Nashville website is the 2 things I love in the world: the music biz, music B-I-Z, and I love the internet. So I'm musicbizinternet.com. And if they want to learn more about YouTube, I've got a website called tubemusicpromotions.com that teaches you our strategies on building viewers and configuring your YouTube channel properly for traffic and conversion.
Great information. Let's definitely write that down and make sure people know how to reach you. Mike, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Great. There's a lot more we can cover, and we'll definitely get to it. We're going to have you back on the show, and we'll talk about some more.
Love to come back anytime.
Great.
Thank you, Bob.
Vinny, always a pleasure. We got more of these in the pipeline, I understand.
Absolutely.
Good. This is Bob Bender with Vinny Rebus, and you're listening to The Business Side of Music.
The Business Side of Music is the creation of Tom Sabella and Tracy Snow and is produced by Bob Bender for Bob Bender Productions. Co-producer for the show is Vinny Rebus. The Business Side of Music is recorded at Music Dog Studios in Los Angeles, California and Nashville, Tennessee. Production sound designed by Keith Stark. Voiceover and promo by Lisa Busan.